Hey everyone, welcome back to the Christmas Carol Countdown. In our second film for the Silent Week, we're talking about the 1910 version of A Christmas Carol. This one was a lot more detailed than the last one. It had most of the story, I believe, and it had a lot of dialogue cards, so you could follow the story easier than the first one we watched as well.
They start out, as they should, in Scrooge's place of work, and right off it's plain who his employee is, and they actually have the men looking for charitable donations come to him, and he shoos them off, and then his nephew comes in along with young friends, probably a girlfriend mixed in there too, whatever they called it back then, I don't know. And he seems to shoo them away too. One of the women, the way they had her dressed with this fluffy, feathery hat reminded me of Lydia from the 90s Pride and Prejudice, a little reference there. But I don't know if that was period correct or not, but they did have they weren't doing 1910 clothes. They were trying to go back to olden days as well with this one. And then I think they pretty much have him close up shop from there, go home, and the haunting begins.
You have another not so special effect at the door. This one I think was even worse, actually. You couldn't really even see his face, so I found it even more...
Couldn't you have done better, people?
Yeah. He gets inside and you have a more proper Marley's ghost rather than a guy literally just wearing a bed sheet.
You can see a chain hanging off of him.
Mm-hmm.
You can see Ebenezer waving his hand to him like, "Are you real?"
They did a little better with the special effect. I think in the first one we watched, they were both there, present for the filming. This one, they were actually having the ghosts filmed separate and then made them look sort of hazy over top most of the film. They actually did pretty well considering when it was filmed.
They added more detail to his past life. They don't really go into his boyhood. With these versions, they skip straight to when he has a lady in his life. This one, they have the dance, and they have him getting his ring back. Pitiful. They didn't give any more detail than that, what happened to her, because she did go on to have a great life, I'm happy to report. And of course they have the Cratchits. They added something in which I didn't appreciate, because whenever they get to Fred in these visions of the present or future, whatever it's supposed to be, they make it look like he loses his love interest because Ebenezer has not helped him financially. Like, he's not rich enough, so go away, Sonny. And I've read the book, it's been a while, but that's not what I remember from the book. He had a nice wife. Scrooge goes to dine with them after he's converted, and they just didn't need to add that in. I didn't appreciate it. They also added more detail in that they showed him dying, and this creepy old elderly woman stealing a ring off of his finger, which he found the expression on her face to be funny as she's exiting.
I found the whole scene to be funny. It wasn't supposed to be funny, but
it was
Scrooge's...
It was so dramatic.
Yes.
Like, oh, I'm dying. Ooh, I get your ring.
It was pretty funny.
Oh, wouldn't they love us? A century plus hence.
Yeah.
We
were trying to be dramatic. What's wrong with you?
So, after seeing his horrible fate, he does convert, and he is woken up by children caroling outside of his house. He throws money out the window. He's sort of dancing around, and he makes his nephew a partner in the business, and before that he gives money. He gives a contribution to the people who were seeking charity before, and his nephew and himself, he goes to the Cratchits, and they come bringing a bird, and they seem to be trying to act out the whole "I'm angry with you, just kidding" thing. Which I was very distracted in this part because his family was really trying to communicate how creeped out they were by him or how engaged they were in this scene through their facial expressions. So I was distracted from what Scrooge was doing in this scene.
The level of overreacting I thought was hilarious.
And I think it was Mrs. Cratchit looked like she had on theater makeup, so it was defining her face even more. And one of them was trying to like hide from him when he first showed up in the house. But it's all good. He is giving whatever blessings he has to them.
He was like, lol, just kidding. Just a prank, bro.
Yes, that is quote from Dickens. Repost that. That's exactly how they talked in the 19th century, kids. Anyway. And wasn't that pretty much where it ended?
Yeah, that was basically the end.
Happily ever after, because the meaning of Christmas is to give away as much of your money as possible. Otherwise, everybody else's life is just that much more miserable without your money.
Sounds like a solid moral.
Thanks, Dickens. You really set us straight. That is not the point. The point of A Christmas Carol, and it would be really interesting to have a deeper discussions of how this story has rippled across our culture and affected both British and American culture. It would be very interesting to discuss that. The point is to be more charitable.
Okay, well, I think that's going to be all for this episode. On Friday, we're going to be talking about a 1913 version of A Christmas Carol. It has been re-released multiple times in multiple years, so it goes by a bunch of different names. A Christmas Carol, Scrooge, Old Scrooge. So whatever you want to call it, it's another silent version. It's longer than this one. It has more of the story. I'm not sure what to expect. We haven't watched it yet, so look forward to that one, and we'll see you on Friday.